Since I was a kid, it was a dream of mine to be a father, to be an amazing dad. I would always imagine what kind of relationship I would have with my kids and how would they look to me? How would they look at me? Growing up before my parents actually split up, they just had a really, really terrible relationship. And I love my dad, but my dad wasn't always there. My dad struggled with a lot of things. He had a lot of things that he was having to face on his own, and it just made it hard for him to just be a present father for me, myself, and my half-sister. I actually had a half-brother, and he passed away at the age of 18, and my dad definitely spiraled after that. And I'm not gonna jump into race, but I can't imagine, what it was like for my dad 30 years ago. He's black. I don't know what he would have gone through during those times of just trying to make something of himself and try to be a better father than what he had. Even he came from trauma. His dad, had a drinking problem, and I definitely believe he wanted more for me and for us, for my brothers and sisters. But not having a dad around during some of the most crucial years of my life, it just made me constantly try to find validation everywhere. I was always an amazing athlete, and I would always just try to impress every coach dad as much as I could. I wanted their affection, I wanted their validation, and I would go out of my way for all of that. And even growing up, any man that felt like some sense of security, I would just gravitate towards. Something that I can lean on. I just wanted it so bad. And when I would imagine what kind of father I would be, it was just so hard because I had no model. I didn't know what to look to. How was I supposed to be this dream dad that I wanted to be when I didn't have that dad? A little while later, I met my beautiful wife, Carlene, and then we had our first kid, and immediately I just felt the pressure. Like all my dreams were coming true, but now it's the time for me to do the thing that I wanted to do. And at the time, the only way that I could imagine doing that was being the provider. I had to provide. I needed to hustle and make money and make sure that they were taken care of and give them the life that I didn't have. And I started to realize that I was kind of missing the whole point. Along the way, I've found some men that I could definitely lean on, people that I see as examples. But there's one in particular that has been not only just a mentor and friend, but Carlene will joke and say, hey, there's your second dad. And he's really just given me that guidance that I've needed in this season of life of being a dad and a husband. The moment that I knew I was gonna look to him as kind of my example, you can really tell a lot about a dad and their kids just by the way that the kids' body language is around their father. And those kids were just unguarded around him. Completely vulnerable, you can just tell they felt so safe around them. And that's exactly what I wanted for my kids. Even Carlene's dad, who I love so much, he's like another dad to me. The type of relationship that they have is also something that I would also want with my kids. I want the relationship where if something goes wrong or if they do something, they're not saying, oh no, I can't tell dad. I want the relationship where they say, oh no, I need to tell my dad. That's exactly how Carlene is. Anytime something's going wrong or even if things are going great, she wants to tell her dad. And that's what I want as well. And here's how minimalism has really come into play in my life as a father and just being the parent that I want to be. Right before we found out about baby number 3, I really wanted to just slow my life down. I was working 2 jobs. My life was just chaotic. I felt like on the outside I was okay, but I knew I was just going too hard. But I was hustling because I wanted to give them everything that I didn't have. But in doing so, I wasn't there. I wasn't around a lot. I wasn't around Carlene a lot. And I'll just say, even working at a church part-time, a lot of times not being home and doing God's work can be disguised as a good thing when you're not home. How's that good? How's that good for your kids and your wife? So that was something that I had to really work through, and I had to decide it's time for me to let that go. I was starting to see that you work so hard to give your family everything that you didn't have, but then they don't have you. So what's the point? What's the point of doing all that? So often the word minimalism is tied to how many things do you have? How clutter-free is your home? How many pieces of clothing do you have? But they don't always see that minimalism goes so much further than that. It's prioritizing what matters, prioritizing the things that you can't see, the things that you can't actually hold. And when Carlene began this journey of minimalism for our family, I started to see that. I started to see that the things that we were getting rid of, the things that we were donating, the things that our kids no longer had because they didn't want it anymore and we decided to donate, I felt like I started to see what they needed more. I started to see what they were looking for. They were looking for security, love, attention. I could see that the guidance that I wanted to give them, the way that I wanted to shape them through minimalism, I could do that. I could show them that your true meaning in life is not tied to all the things that you accumulate. It's with the relationships that you have. It's the mark that you leave on this world. It's just so crazy to me how just a simple declutter just absolutely changed everything. It changed my life. It changed my marriage. It changed the man that I became, the type of dad that I am to my kids. And I have to say, I absolutely could not do any of this without my wife. The biggest moments of my life and the biggest blessings have come through just being with her. And I just know I'm a better husband, a better father, and a better man, a better person because I have her by my side. Doing all of this together, raising a family, building a legacy together. All this to say, I'm trying to become the dad that I didn't have. And I love my dad, but I know he would want so much more for me to give my kids what he wasn't able to give me. So I appreciate you guys hearing me out and being there and supporting everything that we want to give our kids and our family. We'll see you guys soon.